In chapter 9 of the book of Job, the Lord has turned Job's attention away from himself and away from his problems, which we would not minimize, very significant problems, health issues, loss of family, challenges by his best friends, all sorts of things, and a questioning spirit within his own heart when it comes to God. Job is a mess, and Job has ultimately turned against God, not in the sense of turning away from God. He still believes in the Lord. He still trusts in the Lord. That has never been questioned. But he's not very humble, is he? He's challenging the Almighty God. He sees himself as far more important than he really is, and he believes he has a case against God. God has been showing him the weakness of his case by demonstrating to Job the marvelousness of himself, the wonders of God, the magnificence of God, that we often don't take enough time to contemplate, and we should, is what he's doing here. And that's what's good about these chapters in Job. It gives us the opportunity and the privilege to just kind of sit back and soak in the creation of God and the wonders of God. I hope this is being helpful to you. Job has been shown a number of land creatures so far, goats and donkeys and oxes and ostriches, and yesterday horses. So he's moving up the ladder, so to speak, in the marvels of creation. Now he turns our attention, or Job's attention, to the skies. And he moves to look not at the normal birds of the air, which I guess he could do. Isn't it amazing how many varieties of birds there are on this planet? And we have all these songbirds around here. We go to another portion of America, and you see other birds. You go to another country, you see other birds, all these things. But God turns our attention to birds of prey, two in particular, that almost always takes our breath away. The first is a hawk. It is by your understanding that the hawk soars, stretching his wings towards the south. Is it at your command that the eagle mounts up? So let's start with the hawk. Hawks and eagles are very similar, difference in size, but they're birds of prey. They are magnificent. So you drive along down the street, or you're walking down the street, and you see a crow or a blackbird or something on a wire, a telephone wire. And you look at it briefly, and you may dismiss it, think very little of it, or even despise it, depending on what's going on. It doesn't overly impress you, does it? At least not most of us. But when you see a hawk soaring above, or sitting on a line, or down on the ground after a prey, it's different. Every time I see a hawk, I crane my head, I turn my head, I look. I look at that creature. It is unbelievable that creature is there. What a magnificent bird to see. And God created that bird, and they're of different sizes. But then he turns our attention next to the eagle, even more magnificent, right? And he says concerning the eagle, is it at your command that the eagle mounts up and makes his nest on high? On the cliff he dwells and lodges, upon the rocky crag, in an inaccessible place. From there he spies out food, and his eyes see it from afar. His young ones also suck up blood, and where the slain are, there he is. Here is this eagle who soars the heavens. And whenever we see an eagle, we take notice, don't we? Some of you will travel 100 miles to go down along the river at the right time of the year to see eagles nesting and flying around at the right time. They always impress us. If we see an eagle coming down from the skies, we want to look. When we were in Alaska a number of years ago, floating down the river, here comes an eagle down the river to catch a fish out of the river. It was impressive. This is a creature God has made. And we have the picture here of it. It dwells where virtually nothing else can dwell, and its eyesight is unbelievable. They can look from the top of the cliffs and spy out food far below and come sweeping down to grab that food and take off with what they've got here to eat. What a creature God has created. What a magnificent thing. And to think that God created beings like that, and to think that he is the creator, what marvels are in creation. What a marvelous God to create all these things. This should cause us to stand up and take notice not only of creation, we should enjoy creation, marvel at creation, but marvel even more at the Creator. That's what Job is being taught in chapter 31. And now it's time for Job to get ready to respond. We'll look at that in chapter 40.